San Diego Global Knowledge University.
In this second part of our topic, we will explore the most common way to evaluate an organization's progress in implementing and utilizing the concept of Total Quality National Quality Awards. Among these, the most popular in Western countries has been the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award criteria. The Baldrige criteria for performance excellence are used to assess and measure an organization's performance in 7 key areas: leadership, strategic planning, customer focus, information and analysis, human resource focus, process management, and organizational performance results. The ultimate goal of ensuring the effectiveness of a total quality process is to deliver continuous value to customers while improving the overall effectiveness and capabilities of the organization. Whether an organization's quality efforts are in their early, mature, or advanced stages, James Evans' guidelines help make evaluations as productive as possible. Following this model, assessments can be adjusted in complexity. For example, organizations in the early stages of quality improvement should use simple evaluations when conducting internal assessments. The evaluation process itself becomes a vehicle for spreading knowledge about quality processes, how they work, how they connect, and how they align with organizational goals. Evans' method is incorporated into the Baldrige Performance Excellence criteria, creating a management model that emphasizes the crucial links between organizational goals and desired quality outcomes. The measures within this model can be used to determine where to focus during an evaluation or to organize assessment results into a truly actionable plan. The 6 key measures are: 1. Leadership. This involves evaluating the organization's vision, values, work systems, and other key elements that are of primary importance to top executives. 1. Value chains. This focuses on understanding customer requirements and expectations, designing products and services, delivery processes, and post-sale activities. 1. Support for the value chain. This refers to the processes and capabilities needed to execute value chain activities and systematically improve them. 1. Inputs that establish direction. Once an evaluation process is used regularly, the latest assessment results, along with progress reports on improvement actions, are incorporated into the organization's overall planning process. 1. Outputs that establish direction. An annual operational plan is an example of an output that sets direction. However, the drive for improvement typically comes from supplementary information that emerges from the planning process itself. 1. Closing the value loop with leadership feedback. An organization in which total quality efforts have reached a high level of maturity will always be interested in evaluating whether its overall quality effort is evolving into an integrated and permanent improvement process, not just for individual processes but for the organization's entire performance. The International Organization for Standardization, better known by its acronym ISO, is a worldwide federation of national standardization organizations from 130 countries, headquartered in Switzerland. This federation was established in 1947 and now consists of approximately 2,850 technical committees, each responsible for one of many areas of specialization. The purpose of this organization is to promote the development of standardization and support activities to facilitate the international exchange of goods and services, as well as to foster cooperation in intellectual, scientific, technological, and economic activities. Like all ISO standards, their application is voluntary unless their sector of activity makes them a commercial requirement or unless a government body mandates their use. There are 2 types of ISO standards you should consider. The well-known ISO 9000 applies to quality management systems, while ISO 14000 relates to environmental management systems. Both ISO 9000 and ISO 14000 focus on how an organization carries out its work, rather than directly on the results of that work. In other words, both relate to processes, not products, at least not directly. However, the way an organization manages its processes will obviously affect its final product. For example, in the case of ISO 9000, it is evaluated whether everything possible has been done to ensure that the product meets customer requirements. In the case of ISO 14000, It is evaluated whether everything possible has been done to ensure that the product has the minimum negative impact on the environment, either during its manufacturing, disposal, continuous pollution, or excessive exploitation of natural resources. The ISO 9000 series is a set of 5 interrelated international standards on quality management and quality assurance. These are generic and not specific to any particular product, meaning they can be used by both manufacturing and service industries. These standards were developed to effectively document the elements of a quality system that need to be implemented to maintain an integral and efficient quality system within an organization. ISO 9000 establishes the requirements that a quality system must meet, but does not dictate how they must be fulfilled. This provides ample flexibility for its implementation in different productive sectors, business environments, and national cultures. It is important to be familiar with 3 of these standards: ISO 9001, ISO 9002, and ISO 9003. ISO 9001 establishes quality requirements for an organization whose work processes range from design and development to production, installation, and services. ISO 9002 is the same as ISO 9001, except that it does not include design control requirements. ISO 9003 is suitable for an organization whose business processes do not include design control, process control, procurement, or services, and which primarily relies on inspection and testing to ensure that its final products and services meet the required specifications. An organization should apply the standard that best fits its type of operations. There are no differences in quality levels among these standards. The ISO 9000 family includes standards that establish guidelines and requirements for what constitutes an effective quality management system. ISO 9004-1 and other parts of ISO 9004 refer to standards that provide guidelines for implementing specific elements of quality management and total quality systems. The ISO 9000 family proposes models against which a quality system can be audited to provide both the organization and its customers assurance that the system is operating effectively. More and more, customers expect their foreign suppliers and partners to register their quality systems. This usually involves hiring an independent accredited body to conduct an on-site audit to evaluate compliance with the applicable standards requirements. Upon successful completion of this audit, the organization receives a certificate of registration that certifies compliance. Organizations can publish their registration and use the certification mark of the independent registrar and the accreditation body in their advertising materials, letterheads, and corporate branding, but not on product labels. Frederick Smith, president and CEO of Federal Express, stated the following regarding FedEx's ISO 9001 certification. Having ISO 9001 certification worldwide gives us a competitive advantage in the global market, especially as more countries adopt these standards. It is important to note that ISO 9000 registration is not a legal success certification, but it can be highly beneficial. In the European Union, for many officially regulated products, ISO 9000 registration is a recognized alternative to product certification. Here, we must clarify some semantic differences. The issuance of a certificate confirming that an organization complies with the requirements of a standard is known in different countries as certification or registration. These terms generally reflect national preferences and business cultures. Likewise, the organizations that issue ISO 9000 certificates, known as certifying bodies, are referred to in some countries as registration bodies or registrars. Again, these different names refer to the same type of organization. These observations also apply to the certification of environmental management systems that have been evaluated in accordance with ISO 14000 standards. The most obvious benefit of creating ISO 14000 is that we now have a single international standard that guides the world toward responsible environmental management. The ISO 14000 approach forces us to carefully analyze all areas in which our business may have an environmental impact, leading to benefits such as reduction in waste management costs, savings in energy and material consumption, lower distribution costs, improved corporate image with regulatory agencies, customers, and the general public. A framework for continuous improvement in environmental performance. The business advantage of all this is the harmonization of national regulations, labels, and methods, minimizing trade barriers, bureaucratic complications, and promoting predictability and service consistency. Whatever quality measurement standards an organization uses, its executives need continuous insight into performance relative to their production goals, not just through quarterly financial reports. This is only possible by relying on the opinion and evaluation of those responsible for work practices that produce results, including those who monitor just-in-time production, human resources, technology, manufacturing strategies, and information systems. Only with continuous information about these key processes, complemented by production cycle times and compliance with quality standards, will executives have an operational profile that can be evaluated and compared at any time with other organizations in terms of productive practices and performance. Beyond national quality awards and ISO standards, let me now share with you what I call the Capability Maturity Model, CMM, which describes the key areas of competence required for the long-term success of any organization. It identifies the critical success factors for each competency area and proposes a universal scale for measuring performance. The CMM has three primary uses: 1. As a communication tool. 1. As a diagnostic tool. 1. As a performance measurement tool. The first, as a communication tool, describes the critical areas of competence that an organization must master to remain competitive. The competency areas described at level 1 of the model are generic and long-term. These should be approved and adapted by the organization's executives before implementation. The critical success factors for each of the competency areas included in the Capability Maturity Model, CMM, are described in level 2 of the model. These success factors also require prior review and approval by executives. Together, levels 1 and 2 provide a communication framework regarding performance which is crucial for the development of any organization. This conceptual framework establishes a structure for describing and discussing the organization's vision, goals, and objectives, as well as areas of concern and the need for productivity improvement. When used frequently and consistently as a communication tool, the CMM creates a common language that helps clarify direction and performance expectations for both executives and operational staff. The second use of CMM is as a diagnostic tool. During the development process of this model, a medical analogy was used to define the expectations for its application. Test users were asked to imagine a doctor seeing a patient for the first time. The doctor uses a health symptom framework as a first reference. The highest level category could include the patient's cardiovascular system, respiratory system, skeletal structure, etc. Each of these systems has a second level of health symptoms. For example, the cardiovascular system might require pulse rate and blood pressure analysis, while the respiratory system might require measuring breathing rate, depth, and detecting fluid in the lungs. The doctor uses this hierarchical reference framework to diagnose the overall health of the patient and to identify areas that require attention. The CMM model offers a similar reference framework for the organizational health symptoms. The Level 1 radar chart is analogous to the doctor's general health assessment. The Level 2 radar chart provides a detailed evaluation of the specific health of each Level 1 area. The hypothesis is that if an organization's vital signs are healthy in each of the model's areas, then the organization itself is healthy, meaning it is competitive. As in the medical analogy, this model can also help guide attention to specific areas that need improvement. Finally, the CMM serves as a performance measurement tool. The performance scale provided is designed to rate performance levels along the axes of the radar charts, both at level 1 and level 2. The more consistently this can be done, the more valuable the CMM becomes as a quantifiable performance assessment tool. The scale ranges from 0 to 5, where score of 0 ignorance problems are not even recognized. Score of 1 awareness. This is based on 4 evaluation areas. 1. Key personnel are aware that the organization's performance is below the competition. 2. Workforce skills and resources are misaligned with organizational needs, making them inadequate. 3. Processes, tools, and work methodologies are substandard. 4. Improvement efforts are non-existent or ineffective. Score of 2, semi-competence. This is measured across 4 areas. 1. Workforce skills and productive abilities are adequate. 2. Improvement efforts are somewhat effective. 3. Methods and tools are inadequate. 4. Performance is significantly behind the competition. Score of 3. Developing processes. This includes 3 evaluations. 1. Workforce skills and available resources are competitive. 2. The application of competitive tools and methods is sporadic. 3. Performance is somewhat behind the competition. Score of 4. Competitive. This level includes 4 evaluation areas. 1. Workforce skills and resources are competitive. 2. Processes, tools, and work methodologies are competitive. 3. Competitiveness issues are systematically eliminated by qualified personnel and effective improvement processes. 4. Overall performance is competitive. Score of 5. Market leader. This level includes 4 evaluation areas. 1. Workforce skills and resources are outstanding. 2. Processes, methods, and work tools are the best available. 3. Performance is widely recognized for being of superior quality. 4. Performance improves faster than that of the competition. To understand this model in depth, we must first examine the 7 fundamental competency areas. 1. Business value. The ability to deliver reliability, predictability, and continuity in results that reflect a deep understanding of customer needs and market trends. This allows the organization to create new revenue streams through successful and highly profitable products or services. 2. Work processes. The ability to formulate aggressive yet realistic commitments and subsequently produce competitive results aligned with those commitments. It also includes the capability to improve and adapt to new circumstances. 3. Intellectual property. The ability to create, capture, and apply intellectual property in a way that develops an enviable competitive knowledge advantage. 4. Management. The ability to establish priorities and direct resource investments toward areas with high business potential. It includes creating a work environment that fosters productivity and excellent results, as well as the ability to commit to aggressive yet realistic goals while adhering to financial constraints. 5. Workforce. The ability of an organization's personnel to apply broad intellectual strength and perspective to assigned opportunities. It reflects the extent to which the organization is characterized by a workforce with internationally competitive stature, qualifications, and motivation. 6. Partnerships. The ability to identify and effectively implement collaboration agreements with both internal and external partners to significantly enhance productive value. 7. Recognition. The degree to which the organization and its human resources are recognized internationally as leaders in their field, with highly competitive assets. Level 2 of the model defines the critical success factors, CSFs, for each competency area. Below we identify these factors without detailed descriptions, but each is briefly defined. Business value 5 critical success factors, CSFs. 1. Competitive future 2. Balanced investment portfolio 3. Timely technologies 4. Decision quality 5. Paradigm shifts work processes. 8 critical success factors. 1. Executive commitment 2. Internalization and adoption. 3. Compatibility 4. Communication 5. Use of tools 6. Learning, adaptability and creativity. 7. Simplicity, efficiency and coherence. Intellectual property. 8. Critical success factors. 1. Productivity and quality 2. Procedures and processes. 3. Realization of productive value. 4. Employee participation 5. Strategy and implementation. 6. Access to information 7. Executive support 8. Recognition management 8. Critical success factors 1. Deliverable results. 2. Execution 3. Strategy and vision 4. Leadership 5. Market collection 6. Risk and time management. 7. Workforce development 8. Resource mobilization. The next competency partnerships. The next competency is partnerships, which includes 5 critical success factors. 1. Generated value. 2. Alignment and consistency with objectives. 3. Management and coordination. 4. Interpersonal relationships. 5. Operational relationships. The final competency, recognition. The last competency is recognition, which has 4 critical success factors. 1. Recognition of individuals within the organization. 2. External recognition. 3. Self-esteem. 4. Productivity and public relations. The next competency, partnerships. The next competency is partnerships, which includes 5 critical success factors. 1. Generated value. 2. Alignment and consistency with objectives. 3. Management and coordination. 4. Interpersonal relationships. 5. Operational relationships. The final competency, recognition. The last competency is recognition, which has 4 critical success factors. 1. Recognition of individuals within the organization. 2. External recognition. 3. Self-esteem. 4. Productivity and public relations. Of course, to ensure the model functions effectively within an organization, it is essential to obtain internal consensus on competencies' critical success factors and the performance measurement scale. I am convinced that this is an excellent tool that, when complemented with quality compliance and production cycle measurements, provides any organization with a powerful framework for diagnosis, strategic action planning, and communication. This model can help organizations navigate the challenges of the new economy without losing direction, especially now, when many organizations are adrift. At the start of the Industrial Revolution, few people foresaw how it would transform the very nature of work. At that time, new production and transportation technologies changed the structure of work and the functioning of organizations beyond imagination. Today, the information revolution has ushered in an entirely new era, and it continues to reshape the nature of work and productivity. Initially, this revolution focused on using computers to store data, but now, in the era of the new economy, it revolves around the use of digital technology for remote connectivity, dramatically transforming our work environments. Connectivity refers to the technical ability of all the black boxes, technological devices, to communicate with each other, and the ability of users to perform productive activities beyond traditional constraints of location, time, and space. The challenge for each of us is to stay updated on these changes and prepare to seize new opportunities. How can this be done? The tools we have presented in this content provide key strategies to confront the most critical competitive challenge of the new economy: commitment to customer satisfaction. By using the term customer satisfaction, we do not emphasize the cost of keeping customers happy, but rather the value of doing so. For most organizations, this shift in focus represents both an opportunity and a threat. It creates a somewhat ambiguous atmosphere in our work environment, where we have a dual responsibility: helping our organizations succeed with existing tools and developing new professional skills to leverage emerging opportunities. While we rush to meet today's productivity goals, we must also reinvent ourselves to ensure employability in the future. Key steps to take immediately. 1. Clearly define your future. Make a deliberate mindset shift to stop acting based on the past and instead open yourself to future productive possibilities. 2. Build a portfolio of skills and abilities. Position yourself within the current economic value chain. For example, simply having the ability to design new performance solutions, implement them, and measure their impact will hold significant value in the new economy. 3. Develop tech literacy. Ensure you can design new work methodologies that integrate today's most effective technologies and processes. 4. Become a networked professional. Understand which technological black boxes apply to your business and which relationships or interconnections are most valuable. Distinctive advantages increasingly stem from connectivity. 5. Operate in the power zone of the new economy. This zone is not at the center of a circle or the top of a pyramid, but rather on the periphery, where people use technology to serve customers in new markets. 6. Use information technology efficiently. Learn how to access, create, and leverage cutting-edge knowledge. Even if these changes are not yet happening in your organization, be aware that productive infrastructures are constantly evolving. Until you can shift your mindset to adapt to these changes, you will not be able to fully benefit from the opportunities of this era. The unfortunate outcome may be that nothing significant happens in your career during this time of challenges and possibilities. That would be a missed opportunity. If we do not become proactive in this proactive era, we risk living a future that is not the one we want. But remember, the reverse is also true. My wish for all of you is that you can turn this incredible new era into a highly productive and fulfilling time, shaped by your own choices and ambitions.
San Diego Global Knowledge University, education beyond boundaries.